And right here in our own backyard in Canada, there are opportunities to connect, to help out people who are giving of themselves, giving their life away. In fact, those who support such work at like Crossroads and things that we're doing, or with other organizations, the giving of your finances, of your funds, is a way of giving yourself away, because that represents your life, your work, and your passions, and is helping to do such great things. And one of the things we just wanted to highlight today that I had the privilege of doing is attending a conference called Street Level. And it was just earlier this month in downtown Toronto. It was the Southern Ontario Conference held at a historic church building, which houses a congregation called Free Church. But they had a banquet. They had a lot of these organizations from Southern Ontario, and like organizations or conferences were happening right across the country as well. But this was the Southern Ontario one. I had the privilege of just giving some encouragement on behalf of Crossroads, and praying, opening in prayer. And then various ones were sharing. But let's hear from one of those leaders. I'm with Tim Huff, and we're at the Street Level Conference here. And we just kind of stepped out of the action in the banquet hall, Tim, just to chat a little bit. Now, you've been working on the street with the homeless for many years, over 25 years about now, Tim, yeah, in various capacities. People might remember the Light Patrol, part of Youth for Christ, and the various things you've done. And now tell us about this Street Level. You see the logo there on the hat, and the tagline here, "We all belong." The word "can't" is crossed out. What's it all about?
Well, we've come together. It was a charity I started a little while ago, joining with Street Level, which has been this entity for 20 years of leaders gathering together around the issue of poverty. Came together and we said, it's time for us to really reach out across the country. We'll work in regions, gather poverty workers together, raise them up, encourage them, network them, resource them, care for them as pastorally as we can. And we'll do that all over the country, and then we'll try to network them nationally. That's a huge component of what we do.
I love that concept of just networking, getting them together, because they all are of the same heart. They're all wanting to be the hands and feet of Jesus out in the community for the marginalized and the homeless. But you connect them together, help give them resources, inspire them, and it's amazing how that can really help out.
They could share what you might call in business best practices, but in their kind of ministry business, but they can share encouragements and stories and wellness and so many of the circles across and what they're doing and how to take it back to their churches, their congregations, their supporters.
Now, Tim, you've written a number of books that have won awards. It's just has been really your experiences put into book form and encouraging people and stories. But you did one for children as well, and what you see over our shoulders here, this cardboard shack, and from the book, The Cardboard Shack Under the Bridge for Children. Tell us about that.
Well, it's part of what we're calling the Street Level Compassion series. And it's actually book number 1 in our Compassion series. Book number 2 actually comes out this September. Lieutenant Governor David Onley's writing forward for that one. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But we're taking this into schools now. Public schools, Christian schools, Catholic schools. We've been embraced by all of them, and we're starting to take it in. We do a whole interactive thing with children in elementary schools about looking through the lens of compassion at people before anything else.
All right. That's fantastic that you're getting that kind of access and be able to share and implant at a young age to children that you need to be aware and you need to have compassion for these people on the street. Right. Tim, thank you so much for your time. And I'll better let you get back to your conference, and then the banquet hall there. A lot of people are connecting in this kind of the Southern Ontario version of what's happening across the country. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right. And it was a privilege for the Ministry of Crossroads to partner with them to help support these conferences happening around, which are just that catalyst for bringing people together who have such a heart. These are like unsung heroes that work with these marginalized people in poverty or homeless, and it's just amazing to be able to help out in that way and to see these people at work and what God has called them to do.
It makes perfect sense, this emphasis on caring for the caregivers for so many years. Tim has been the man on the street, the man amongst the marginalized for years, almost a quarter of a century, with Youth for Christ, Light Patrol, and then the Hope Exchange. You may remember these emphases when Tim's been here in the past. And you know, he's had this vision, and it's found its niche. It's going to be good to go. I'm actually hosting an event for them in September. And I just want to remind you, all three of Tim's books are award winners. He's a real Renaissance man. He writes his heart, and he does it so well. And now he invites us to be a part of a very needed emphasis. This is just helping the needy. This is helping support those who are in the trenches.
And we will have another report from that street level conference coming up in the coming 100 Huntley Street programs, where I talk with Pat Nixon, who is also with Tim together. They have they pulled this street level network together and doing tremendous things. And Pat Nixon for also many years. But between the two of them, they have something like over 50 or 60 years of ministry experience to people who are homeless or in poverty or on the street. And so it's just tremendous to connect with them, and thank you for your support of this ministry so that we can bless others and be a help to those who are doing such great work.
Of course, our model is Jesus himself.